Hey, Dougie Fresh in the flesh, back to give you my absolute best to the last breath. Yes, I got this awesome with a capital A book here. The Element, How Finding Your Passion Changes Everything. Stephen Covey says this offers life-altering insights about the discovery of your true best self. So let's dive in. The Element is all about combining your natural aptitudes with your personal passion. And it's getting your aptitude and your attitude infused to evoke that true best self and get in alignment with it because that getting in tune with this passion, this element, would exemplify excellence. And the sequence of this element sounds like I get it, I love it, I want it, where is it? So the I get it is an intuitive grasp. It's an intuitive grasp for something. It's your natural ability, your aptitude of what the thing is, how it works, and how to use it. Okay? I want it is your attitude, dude. It's your personal perspective, your lens, your view, your direction, what you see the world. Okay? How we see things, ourselves and our circumstances. And I think this is the most important thing, your attitude. Your attitude. What I'm about to say right now is the most critical, enormous, colossal, gigantic point. And that is this. Your perspective on yourself, on others, in the world will be a direct determinant of your life. It's going to be a reflection. If you think the world's bad, you're bad, and people are bad, your life's not going to be very good. You want to have a good view of these things, a realistic view, but a good view, an optimistic view, because that will help and serve you. So if you think the world's great, people are great, and I'm good, things will go smoothly, opportunities will come, you'll create better opportunities, you'll take them. It's a powerful, resourceful place to come. Many of my mentors talk about this. I find this to be true. So give an experiment for yourself. You don't have to, but I find this to be true. It's one thing I know for certain. Okay. So that's the I want it. The next, so basically it's how we perceive our circumstances, how we perceive them, people create and take our opportunities. That's going to determine. That depends largely on how we see ourselves, others in the world. It's going to depend on that Rocky philosophy. So I talk about the Rocky philosophy is the link below, basically how we can create and make and then take opportunities. Well, that's going to come from the root and the stem of that, how we see the world, that attitude, that perspective. Okay, next, where is it? That's how do I find it? Well, this is by making and taking these opportunities, discovering, trusting, persisting, playfully, passionately doing these things as in thinking differently, right? Thinking differently and experiencing, experimenting, doing your best at all times. This will allow this to happen. So we're going to dive more into more of this, how to find it, and where it may arise out of. And that is by one, thinking differently and not falling prey to groupthink. Groupthink's a whole big topic I want to get into, but basically your friends are quick to tell you to, sit down, shut up. Anybody will tell you that if you're too different, if you have any crazy ideas or far-fetched things, and the nail that's stuck up gets hammered down. So be cautious, be aware of that. And groupthink's very necessary. You see that someone jumps off a bridge and they could die, well, don't jump off a bridge. But it also is very hindering too in your creative expression. And creativity is the next thing this book goes into. It talks about, they use a lot of great stories in here. Albert Einstein was one really awesome one. But they mentioned how the earth is so small and we are so insignificant. It has some pretty cool pictures in here. What was that? So the earth, in essence, I do not like when this happens. When you're trying to show someone something, you can't find a page. All right, here we go. So here's the earth here. Then there's the Earth there. It's just it's very much smaller. Now the Earth is a speck. Now it's not even visible. So it talks about how insignificant we are, but also how significant we are because we can be aware of this. Why are we aware of it? So we have tiny and insignificantness, right? But we are aware of it. So what does that mean? So it gets you sparking creativity. Gets that flame of creativity going in you. And ask yourself, how creative are you 1 to 10 and why are you creative? And it says ask people that. Ask people how intelligent you are 1 to 10 and why are you intelligent. It's a good thing to do. I've been playing with it lately. Fun question to ask. But creativity is the process of having original ideas that hold value and then doing something to manifest it. So I wanted to make a video on the element. Well, now I'm doing it. I'm making it and I'm sharing it. So I manifest it. It's power we all have. It's just a far reach and so deep, and affects not only what we put in the world, but also what we make of it. Not only what we do, but also how we think and feel about the world and ourselves. So, Shakespeare says this with our thinking. There is no good or bad, but thinking makes it so, Shakespeare says. Fascinating. If you can change your mind, you can change your life, William James says. So, create your view on the world, people, and you. What you believe around that will determine your quality of life. That's what I kind of made up of this. That's one huge thing I got out of the book. Talks about domain and field, how your domain is activities like rap, athletics, music, arts, psychology, physics, business, but your field is those other people involved in it, engaged in it. And it talks about tribes, how tribes are great because they create validation, enormous inspiration, and the alchemy of synergy, which organizes genius. So get in a tribe, have a tribe, lead a tribe. Great book, Tribes by Seth Godin, talks about this. Next, this talks about barriers to finding your element. There's personal, social, and cultural. And like it says, it goes into group think. When I mentioned group think earlier, people are quick to remind you the penalties of being different. The line experiment, the famous psychology experiment, they had these lines, and there are people in there who said they were longer or shorter than what they were, and we knew that it was a certain size, but we went against our own rationale because the others in our environment said it was different. So that's the power of groupthink. Right? Talks about luck. I'm going to get into luck in another video because it really went off on luck. One thing I really want to share, though, is how you could be unlucky in a situation, okay, completely unlucky, but then end up being lucky after all. What I mean is, you could have a girl break up with you, you could have a broken bone, you could get fired from a job or leave a job, and it may be unlucky, but then as you continue to do the things that which luck is, prepare, persist, work, those things will then allow luckiness to come from it. So you're getting uncomfortable, but then you become comfortable with that uncomfiness. Then, therefore, you become stronger, and then you're lucky. People say you're so lucky. Well, came from the unluckiness. So that was really one awesome point. Last thing, mentors. Talks about recognition. These are the 4 roles of a mentor. Got to recognize. So recognition is huge for you. Recognize your abilities and share and say, hey, you're strong here, you're weak here. Encouragement. Mentor provide encouragement. And mentors aren't always nice. That's a big thing people don't know. You see that if you have a one-on-one mentor, they're not going to be nice. They're going to tell you where you're weak at and where you need to pick it up at. But they facilitate. That's the other thing. They facilitate, give you the resources, give you the ideas, things to support you. And then lastly, they stretch you, they strengthen you, they sharpen you. And you have to have that willingness as well. Like I said, a lot of great stories in the book. It's never too late to find your element. They talk about how schools can get better, and they The last thing I want to give you is this great quote here by Michelangelo. The greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but rather that our aim is too low and we reach it. So what he's saying here is, you see that perfect thing right there, the flag. We're getting for the red and white. Go for that blue. Go for that blue stars. Go for the blue, the white stars and the blue. So aim higher and hit it rather than low and hitting it. Even if you miss it, you're gonna keep adjusting, keep aiming, bam, hitting it. That's the element. Okay, so is your attitude right? How are you looking at the world, yourself, and others? Are you thinking differently, intelligently, creatively? Are you aware of groupthink, overcoming the barriers, breaking through them? Align with it because it exemplifies excellence. Stay fresh, stay blessed.